Beer, let me ask you, somebody asked you a question about Lake and Riley case, and you said that people who were criminals or felons were already prioritized. Isn't that if they're convicted?
That's right. You need a criminal conviction to be subject to mandatory detention. You don't need a criminal conviction if you are in the country illegally already, and the administration can go out and arrest that person even without a criminal conviction.
But Lake and Riley, I believe, was the bill we had that expanded that to people who were charged with, not convicted of misdemeanors.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even need an arrest to be subject to mandatory detention. So there's a difference. There is discretion for ICE to go get someone who is fleeing or evading charges. But if someone has just been arrested and then they're never charged because they didn't commit the crime, it would be wrong to subject someone to mandatory imprisonment in a case where they were cleared.
So you think there should be some priorities in who we try to deport?
Absolutely. We need to focus on people who have violated the rights of Americans, who have committed crimes with victims. Those are the people that we need to seek justice for, not just if they're immigrants, but in general, that's what law enforcement should be focusing on.
Even on pardons, if you had people that were tried to overthrow the government on January 6th, that you should go after people that were maybe beat cops up and led the operation as distinguished from people that were just showed up and kind of hung out.
I absolutely believe that we should focus on violent offenders and prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law.
Is it Fabricatore?
Affirmative, sir. Yes, thank you.
Do you agree with what Mr. Beer said, that we should have priorities on who we go after?
No, sir, I do not. I believe we should focus.
DACA kids who've been in this country for maybe 20 or 25 years and been good citizens, maybe, and maybe been in the military or the National Guard or something, that they should be rounded up and deported as well?
Well, the focus should be on criminals initially, but if you're violating the immigration law, you've violated the immigration law. You've violated laws of the United States, and at some point in time, that needs to come to a reckoning.
We don't have enough monies to put into this to deport everybody that's in that category, right?
I would ask that you would fund that, sir, as Congress.
Well, if we fund it, we'd probably have to cut out lots of basic programs we've got now. It's a tremendous amount of money, billions and billions of dollars.
I don't put a cost on United States citizens' lives, sir.
Okay. Maybe we can get Elon to pay for it. The election's over, and we need to find common ground. The bill that the Senate was proposing, how many Republicans were for that bill or voted for it?
I don't remember. Could be a couple.
Could be 15 or 16, couldn't it?
I don't have the answer to that.
Well, I think it was closer to 15 or 16. I don't recall exactly. But there were quite a few. What did that bill do that was good, and what we should take up now, and what was in the bill, if anything, that you think was bad?
Well, I certainly think that one of the most important reforms in that legislation was that if someone is released from U.S. custody, they're able to seek a work authorization and support themselves. What we saw in New York, and it's pointed to repeatedly about these people who are living in hotel rooms and a burden on the community, it's because they're unable to work to support themselves because they're told you're not supposed to work, you have to wait 6 months to get your work permit through the asylum process. So if the government is not going to remove someone, they're going to release them unless they've committed some serious crime or there's some other aggravating circumstance, they should be supporting themselves and contributing to the community. So that's one important thing that it did. It made some important reforms to the legal immigration process as well, increasing green card caps for the first time since 1990. That's how old our legal immigration system is. The overall framework of the legal immigration system needs to be reformed. This was a modest step in the right direction.
What we need is legislation that is thought out, not just common sense, but logical, thought out, and planned. Not where somebody might just say, what are we going to do with all these January 6 people? Well, it's going to take some time. We have to take some processes, so just F it. Just do them all. That's a man-child. We don't need a man-child in charge of our government or making policy, because that makes for mistakes. That makes for the guy who came up with the Silk Road and be the biggest drug dealer in the world to get a pardon. needs to stop. And our immigration laws ought to be done in a logical manner and with priorities. I yield